Hey guys, Jason here. So I just wanted to talk about Loctite. Specifically Loctite in these little tubes. Now it doesn't matter what brand of Loctite that you use or purchase. Take that back. There's mainly Loctite, and then there's the, I think, Permatex brand, and then there's probably like Harbor Freight brands and all that. I've never bought the Harbor Freight brands, so I don't know, the cheaper brands. I always get the quality Loctite when possible. And you unscrew the cap when you get it. Now, this one's obviously old, and you cut the tip off, and it typically gushes out a little bit. So this is a 0.20 fluid ounce tube, or 6 milliliter, and which is actually quite a bit, except for the loss that you take with it. And when I say the loss, so if you say you grab a screw like so and unscrew the doorknob, and you can either do it just like this, you can back the screw almost all the way out on these particular type situations. So that's been in my truck for a bit. I hadn't used it. Okay, there we go. So it just, and what could have been just one drop, I've got way more here than I do needed out of that. So I'm going to screw that back in. Could let it dry, but since this is going to be a stock one, I'm going to leave it just outside of it to let it dry. So there you go. That's one. That's, I guess, why I'm doing the video. If you buy a really small tube and it has 0.20 fluid ounces in it, you're only going to end up really using half of that, because the other half will be waste. And another thing is it dries, and you can see how I go to screw this cap on and it won't screw on at all. And every time you put it in and it dries in the cap, the overflow. Now you can be really careful and clean it up. So and you kind of have to, and after you've used Loctite, I'm sure y'all have discovered this, but even as careful as you can be, sometimes when you're in the field and you're in a hurry and you just throw it back in the truck, and it'll dry up and it'll clog this cap up. So you have to get a sharp pointed object and dig down in there every so often and clean out the threads, and also the dried area around this part. And once I get it all cleaned up and wiped off and dry, it will be good for another couple of uses. But like I said, typically, and this stuff isn't cheap. That's like a $6 little bottle of stuff. So you got to think about it. You're wasting, $3 of it most of the time accidentally. It's not like you're doing it on purpose. But again, if it's, you're in a hurry and you go to drip a little bit out, and you can cut the tip smaller. I know some people might say just cut the tip smaller, but really that's a very small hole. The smaller it is, as it dries, you will have to come in with like let's just say this over here, a paper clip, and you'll have to periodically shove it down in there to break the dried part there. So anyway, I just figured I'd talk about Loctite because I'm cleaning mine. So y'all have a good day. See you later.